Welcome to Basically Sci-Fi, the short storytelling podcast where we tell stories you can basically call sci-fi. I'm Jared,
I'm Todd.
And I'm Adam.
and today got a story from me.
You got anything you want to talk about?
Not really, unless you want to talk about bad B movies, because that's all I've been watching all day.
Well, sure. Yeah, we can talk about that. That might even influence your writing at some point.
They're always so much more creative than, like, the big movies. They got no goddamn money, so they're like...
Sometimes.
Yeah.
How do I make this werewolf turn into a human, or whatever?
Sometimes they also do just get made because no one else would finance it, and it was a dumb idea.
Yeah. Or they're B movies because nobody involved has any idea of how to actually make a movie. So they're just an hour and a half long train wreck.
But that's always the best movies.
Well,
Yeah, for sure.
That's why we have YouTube now.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyone can make hour.
Actually, like
now.
YouTube maybe 15 years ago, now that I think about it. YouTube
Probably
now has gotten pretty
more
professional.
accurate.
Oh, which movies have you been watching?
So I bought this as a 4-movie collection from Echo Bridge Productions. Or Echo Bridge Entertainment, I guess they're called. Yeah, the pack was sold as a 4 sci-fi movie special, but it only had 3 sci-fi movies in it. One of them dubiously sci-fi at that.
Wait, it only had 3 movies in it? Okay.
No, it had 4 movies, but the 4th one was just like a spy movie, like a Jason Bourne kind of knockoff. It was made like 10 years before Jason Bourne, or the Bourne Identity came out in video form, but...
So you're saying Jason Bourne's a knockoff of this movie, actually?
No, I'm fairly certain that Bourne Identity was a book long before it was a movie, and they couldn't get the rights to it, so they made essentially that.
Oh, wait, so amnesiac spy.
Oh, they left
everybody
out the amnesiac part. It was just the brother of a spy. Goes around being a more proficient spy than the brother, who in the end comes back to life because he wasn't actually dead.
Awesome.
Because very obvious plot twists are...
That's B movie right there.
For B movies?
Yeah.
You seen Gattaca?
Yes.
It's got the brother bit.
Not for 20 years, but...
Were we in the same biology class in high school? Because we watched that movie in high school in biology class.
I also watched that in biology class in high school.
There's no good reason for that.
Well, it's got the DNA Gattaca.
No, we weren't in the same biology class, because I took biology my sophomore year, I think.
Oh, okay.
We were not at Lincoln at the time.
Right.
And I didn't go to your school.
Yeah, that's true. But you did watch it in bio class,
Yes.
But okay, can you please defend the teacher's decision, because I'm that was a waste of time, and I'm angry about my tax dollars being wasted on it. Now in reflection.
Hey, look, man, I went to a Catholic school, and they made us watch like a live abortion. So anything after that is anything is better than that shit.
And
not like a live.
They performed an abortion in the biology class.
No. I meant to say a live recording.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, so a recording?
Yeah.
It's okay, though. The baby fetus had a demon in it. But...
No, the thing is, they were really trying to... I didn't realize this until, after I graduated, but, they were really trying to influence us. So they picked, a third trimester.
Yeah.
And then they fucking neglected to mention that third trimester abortions only ever occur if, the mother is literally about to die, or, there's something horrible happening. And, they're just no, this person didn't want to.
You mean about to go meet God, is what you mean. And then, at the last second, she ruined it.
At the last second,
of things other than abortion...
Sorry.
B movies?
B movies. Well, those are kind of abortions.
Yeah, I mean, you can see abortions in B movies sometimes. There's one I watched.
Oh, God.
It was there. Yeah. There's some fucked up B movies, man. That like 90% of them probably have rape.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
no.
But yeah, I've seen at least one that was set in a back alley abortion clinic. It was like a horror movie about too many aborted fetuses coming together to make a monster. And that goes back inside the woman at the end because it wants to be a baby.
That sounds like a Dark Souls monster.
That is an amazing pitch.
I'm sure.
Resell that again
absolutely.
to Netflix.
Oh yeah, they would probably pay me $1 million to make a remake of that movie.
Oh my God,
I don't remember what it's called.
Well, it doesn't matter because you can give it a new title and a new script, but it's going to be the same thing.
It's called separation anxiety.
There you go.
No, B movies are great because they don't have the interference of big publishing companies, and
sure.
so they just do whatever. Unfortunately, like I said, often it's like they include rape just as an excuse to have these poor, desperate women actresses take their clothes off.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this movie's gonna make me big. Of course I'll show my tits for half the runtime.
Yeah, it's also just used as like a cheap writing. Like it's I don't know. I've read several papers about how it's overused, and I don't know. There's like this one article I read online. It was like so you're thinking about including a rape scene. Should you? The answer
is no.
The answer is no. The answer is no.
Unequivocally, no. There's two things in writing, and these are always true. It is death is never funny, and rape is
death is
not
always
interesting.
funny.
Don't do it.
Hold on a second. No. Why are you negating your own point with that first point? Because
whoever said death is never funny is patently wrong.
Yeah.
I will stand by that. As someone who's had family members die left and right over the last 10 years, I can absolutely say it is sometimes funny.
Yeah. Haven't you ever heard a dead baby joke?
Back in like 2009.
Oh man. Back in the day.
That is literally back in the day. That's like a whole decade ago now.
Though.
I had just graduated college. Yeah.
Writing has improved so much since then, and Jared's writing has improved too. Did you write something for us?
I guess. I was typing this out. Really didn't remember any of this episode.
Oh, great.
Even though this one I had written fairly recently, but I think I had just kind of split up when I wrote it. Like I took long breaks in between each part that I wrote. But it's relatively competent.
Oh, good. Hey, that should
just
be
setting those expectations real low.
That'll be in the description below the video.
Yeah.
This week, Jared reads a relatively competent story.
That he wrote.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the episode is called Home is Where the Giant Robots Are.
Ooh, this reminds me of something.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Sure.
We've been looking forward to more info on the giant robots, so I believe this one will actually be more than competently written.
I mean, there's no further information on them in this one, but sure.
Okay.
They play a part, but not a speaking part. The ark slowly ground to a halt. It's still technically the middle of the night on the ship, but since that was really just a construct of expectations the people on board had, it really held no meaning to anyone after a decade of space travel. Most of the crew existed on schedules based entirely around their work and social lives. The ship didn't differentiate day from night itself. It all just depended on the individuals, in what state of light or dark they kept their own quarters in. The point to all this explanation being, it had been some time since they'd stopped at a planet, and all of their scans taken in the run-up were hopeful. The gas mixture of the atmosphere was perfect. The orbit, spin, and tilt of the planet meant there would be multiple ecosystems in each of the major land masses, and the sun it was orbiting is still young enough that only rudimentary intelligence life could have formed. The people of the Ark would be able to fit themselves into the world comfortably, with only minor irreparable damage to potential future life forms. Preliminary scans of potential planets had been an issue with previous worlds, not indicating issues such as living bodies of water, angry locals, mind-controlling mushroom spores, and the like. There was more hope this time, however. The section of the galaxy this planet was located in is sparsely populated, and the nearest planets wouldn't seem to have cause to stop by, as all logical traffic lanes should lead away from the world. It seemed likely they could live there largely undisturbed until they were ready for it. Glorda was on the bridge, the landing crew waiting behind her. It would be the first planet she went to without Randall, which, while it wouldn't make the job any more difficult, was just another reminder of all that had been lost along the way. Mostly just Randall, and not much else. First and last, she told herself. Now that the planet was in visual range, they could see no orbiting satellites or inorganic debris. The surface showed no signs of civilization either, which was further cause to hope. To replace Randall and Happel on the initial excursion, Frunga and Benji had volunteered their services. Benji's understanding of the more advanced sciences from the Alabithans had come a long way in the years he'd spent on the Ark, to the extent that he was no longer considered to be at a high school level of education on it.
That's good.
However, in this case, he would merely be examining the local flora to see if it would all need to be replaced with their own crops from the botanical gardens on the Ark. Plum wandered under the bridge and declared, "I'm coming with you." There was a degree of unease, just given his unpredictability, which he immediately picked up on. Look, these giant apocalypse robots we've been working on will eventually get bored with their existence. I need to find an activity to distract them. You didn't give them personalities, did you? Glorda asked nervously. No, he didn't, Frunga interjected. I made sure he had no access to any of those systems, as per your request, and several hundred other people's requests. The boredom is a byproduct of their computer systems. They need a degree of personality, which I implemented myself, in order to appear threatening without running the risk of using their weaponry. Why not just deactivate the weapons? Glorda asked. Were you not listening? They need to appear threatening to outside scans. It's easier than making them appear to be functioning, Plum said. That is the most irresponsible nonsense I've ever heard, Happel shouted from his cell on the other side of the bridge.
Yeah.
Everyone was pretty used to ignoring him by now. Hung was one of the young Arkborn kids who'd been put in charge of Happel. Please stop doing that, man. You'll have to mute your comm scan if you don't butt out, he said with that tired understanding that only comes from trying to get the unreasonable to see reason. Happel started to reply, likely very reasonably so, and Hung muted the room and proceeded to nod along for the next 10 minutes while Happel shouted into the void.
Sometimes that is just best.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
What?
Happel's still around?
Yeah, he's in a cell.
He's in a cell.
He didn't disappear.
Who gives a dude in a cell a comm unit?
Well, presumably
They are excessively reasonable.
Communicate needs at some point.
I guess
that's also why there's a mute option.
That's my limited imagination. At first, you said cell. I really did just imagine like a cartoon, like prison made of bars. You know, like a little
stone,
a little
of course,
square.
Stone.
Thank you, Hong. We'll get you off that job tomorrow, whether we settle this world or not. Frunga felt bad for the kid. He had a good relationship with most of the Arkborn, but the only position that opened up for him when he decided to start working was a security post after one of the security team members died in an attempt to arrest a maintenance bot who just wasn't interested in being arrested.
See? Death is funny.
Yeah. Death is always funny. When the landing crew arrived on the planet, they were impressed with their surroundings. Climate seemed suitably temperate, and their scans had shown that the tilt of the axis was suitable for seasons that would allow for crop harvesting year-round. Everyone agreed it seemed like a pretty nice place to exist. On the planet, they all set about their tasks, most of it pretty boring shit. Taking soil samples, water studies, checking the fabric of space, just to be sure. Glorda looked up from her work. She found studying water samples relaxing, in most cases at least. She was disturbed by a loud crack as the giant deterrent robots fell from the sky, followed by most of the maintenance bots. She and Plum hurried over to the nearest landing spot. Hey, we aren't done verifying this planet yet. Why did you drop? Plum asked the maintenance bots. What? Oh. But these guys said it was time to land. The giant robot directed this at the maintenance bots.
Oh.
Ha! This guy's an idiot, right? Anyways, we finished our own scans of the world and decided we will be staying here. You can too, if you want. That ship is boring. We're done with it, the 33rd one said.
They have decided they're gonna stay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but nobody asked. Like,
no.
No.
It was part of the agreement from the beginning.
Yeah. I remember Plum said that they could make their own decisions, but yeah, I don't know. I love them. I love them so much.
What about him? You can't just take our protective systems, Plum shouted. Oh, we thought you were building him for us to have some sort of figureheads, I guess. We probably should have known. It was all just self-serving joke on your part. The 33rd one replied as dejectedly as a lunatic robot could muster. Well, that's a bit dramatic, Plum said. Thank you. I've been working on my drama function, Bot said before scuttling off to meet up with the others that had come. It does have a point, Glorda said. This could be the excuse they needed to settle. The issue that no one had anticipated when they set out was, how do you pick a planet to live on? Most people can't agree what temperature to keep the living room at.
Ain't that the truth?
There's always someone with an insurmountable obstacle to existing on the world they're looking at. Speaking of which, at that moment, Hong started to cough. They had brought him along to get a representative for the Arkborn. Frunga's medical scans of him turned up unsatisfactory results. He's having some kind of reaction to the air on the planet, she said. Why would that be? Benji asked. Well, there could be a number of reasons, Frunga replied. I'll take him back to the medical center and check to be sure, though. We will go with you. This planet sucks, the 65th one said.
What?
It was followed by a group of at least 15 of the maintenance bots.
Didn't they just decide to live here?
Yeah.
Some of them did. Not all of them.
Oh.
Yeah, they have a point there, Plum said. I'll go back and prepare the cryo chambers to land. Wait, we haven't decided to stay here yet. Glorda wasn't happy having lost control of the mission. But it's the only option. We can't recreate the giant robots. We don't have the materials, Benji pointed out. Glorda knew this was true. She just didn't like it being chosen for them. Well, if everyone's content with that, I guess we can call this planet home from now on, pending the results of Hong's test. There were some nods of approval. No one thought this was how the decision would be made, but it could be worse. It was a nice enough planet after all. Back on the Ark, Frunga was doing a more comprehensive scan on Hong. It would appear that only ever having breathed the recycled air on the ship has made your lungs less able to process the random environmental changes on the planet. It's something that may get better in time. Or it may not, she told him. Well, is staying on the ship an option then? Some of the asshole bots are staying, and I think I could get along with them.
Yeah.
I guess so. The planet doesn't need to be seeded with all of the plants from hydroponics. But you alone won't be able to maintain all of the necessities of life on board. That won't be a problem. Most of the Arkborn are planning on staying with me anyways. As am I. Plum came into the room against any ideas of expected privacy in a doctor's office. What are you doing? Get out of here, man, Frungus shouted at him. All right, whatever. Come see me when you're done here, Hong. Plum sulked away, annoyed that he still couldn't tell when it was appropriate to burst into a room with momentous announcement. Hong went to find him a short time later. So, are you staying? Plum asked. Seems that way. I don't really want to deal with a life of struggling to breathe the air on that planet down there. And those people are the worst. They asked me to join their crew, but then forced me to guard some crazy dude who only talks about himself for weeks. Yeah, those people are dicks. That being said, we're keeping the crazy murderer too. You shouldn't have to guard him, though. The maintenance bots will have fun keeping him in line for us. What? Why would you want him around? He's not that bad once you get to know him. Didn't he kill a guy who'd worked with him for over a decade? You worry too much. You just gotta relax. If he tries to kill you, someone else will just shoot him out of an airlock. I think I'd prefer it if he just didn't kill anyone. And I'm telling you, he probably won't. Well, this is going nowhere. I can't promise I won't kill him if he starts acting strange. But if you can get the leaders to give him up, then fine. Why bother asking? If you know they're going to say no, then just abduct him. Fair enough, I guess. But I need to go talk to the other Arkborn. And we could just abduct them, too. They'll probably be on board with this. We should just ask. Fine. But be quick about it. Hong headed to the hangout spot most of the Arkborns would be at. It was a largely disused dining hall with several big tables. The kids aboard had turned it into a fort to hide out in. And as they aged, it became more of a lounge where they would meet to disparage the adults and plan for their own futures. Hey, Hong, how's it going? Frog said.
Frog? How do you spell frog?
F-R-A-W-G.
Okay, of course. I like it.
She was Hong's best friend, as she was the second child born on the Ark, and they had relied on each other for everything from emotional support to sparring in preparation for the inevitable revolution.
Oh, God.
Frog, we have to discuss the future. She guessed what he meant, and pulled a small laser sword out of her utility belt, not remembering that when the initial plans for revolution had subsided, this was what he had said to her about taking the job with ship security. Where do we strike first? Oh, nothing so drastic, Hong said. What is it now? Have they actually decided to stay on this planet? Yes, but the air down there isn't suitable for us to breathe. Well, that's fun. She was interrupted by a cacophonous crash, reverberating around the ship. They ran to the windows to see the cryopods dropping to the surface. My idea was that we stay on the Ark. Plum and some of the bots are, he said, still watching the population of the planet he had never seen plummet towards their new home. Yeah, okay, she replied, clearly distracted. The others, who were also watching, agreed. Plum walked in with a couple of maintenance bots. So, have you made up your minds yet? He asked. We will be coming with you, Frog said. About goddamn time. Let's go already, the bot said, showing just how patient he had been. No, we have to go down and let them know our decision first, Frog replied. Oh, goddammit, the bot said, and marched off to take out his frustrations on something. Frog and Hong went with Plum and some of the maintenance bots down to the planet to let people know their decision. When they landed, they went straight to Glorda. Okay, I think I understand. But why did you bring Plum down with you? She asked. We brought him and the maintenance bots, too, just so they wouldn't leave us behind, Hong said.
Yeah.
Good call, Glorda noted. Well, We also have some of the kids armed with EMPs waiting for the bots to try and leave anyways. Better call, Plum said. Well, let's get going then. Hong headed back to their landing craft with the others. Wait, don't you want to say goodbye to your parents? To be continued.
Okay.
Answer is no.
Yeah.
The answer is get back to the ship
absolutely.
as fast as you can.
Yeah.
These are unforeseen complications, right?
Yeah.
I dig it a lot because I thought we already had it figured out a couple episodes ago where the whole race is doomed, and that's why only the killer giant robots are left on the planet when we see them in the future. But now half of them are gonna leave and move on somewhere else, and like,
Well, a lot more than half of them are staying on this planet.
oh yeah, but
Because the cryopods with all the population that wanted to stay also dropped.
yeah,
So it's just the Plum, Happle, half of the maintenance bots, and the kids that were born on the Ark are staying.
Right. So I had before you started your story, I'd kind of thought out in my head how it would go, right, eventually.
Yeah.
But so I thought maybe when the robots started landing, but the Fibulins and the Alabithans were starting to see like, oh, maybe the atmosphere isn't that great. Maybe they were gonna head back up and leave the robots on the planet, and then that's why there's nothing on the planet but robots.
Yeah.
But no, all the cryopods just dropped.
No.
So okay, yeah,
Yep.
not happening.
No, I thought about that too.
Yeah.
But I decided to go a different route with it. I liked the idea of Plum and Happle and the robots and the kids.
Yeah.
Like 2 old men, some homicidal robots, and a bunch of basically children.
Pretty dangerous children too.
Yeah, no, children raised by the homicidal robots primarily. So
yeah.
You know.
So I'm looking forward to the giant space base that they're going to build.
I still haven't gotten to that part. I've been writing. I'm almost caught up to where I have like pre-written at this point. I have
because for me, when you said like
2 more episodes,
they can't breathe the air on the planet, I was like, well, obviously the next best choice is just to build a fucking planet for them to live in, or a big enough base.
No, I had another plan, but I forgot to do it. I was gonna. Well, doesn't matter. Yeah. But yeah, no, I haven't written anything about them yet. The next 2 stories I have written are all take place on the planet with the people that stayed.
Okay.
I will come back to the arc at some point later on down the line. I just needed to break up the characters because there were just too many of them, and
yeah. Okay, that's a practical reason, but
it was getting confusing. Like I had to keep going back and checking which characters were doing what and where they all came from, and like I'm pretty sure I left Benji out entirely for like the last 4 episodes.
Oh yeah,
he was a big part of like the Alabithans or the Fibulins that went along for the ride. He's initially intended to play a slightly bigger role, but like I said, there were just too many characters and he got lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, man, that happens.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna have to get one of them big fucking cork boards and like just start like pinning names to it and like little like ropes.
No, what I like to do is completely forget about all of the characters and only remember them when I type out the stories to read them for this, and then go back and furiously edit episodes I've already written so that they make sense.
Yeah.
Because I forgot something.
That's hard sometimes, keeping track of all that movement.
Yeah.
but the characters are well done. Sometimes I think when you have a lot of characters, it's easy to just, like, as the narrator, like, you need someone to say this, and then you need someone else to respond to them, and, like, when you got too many characters, does it really matter who's talking? But you've got them divided into camps enough that they each...
Yeah, I tried to give them all specific roles.
Yeah.
So, like, when somebody's talking about something, be it the robots or the planets, like, there are people whose job it would be to know that information, and they're the ones that talk.
Right.
I do have all that, like, plotted out in my head. I know who does what. It's just some of the minor characters, like Benji, just end up getting lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
But yeah, any criticisms, or are we still doing that?
I think we're pretty much not doing that, but...
Yeah, we got a new rule. It's called no bummers, so there's no criticism here.
Not in the British way, though. Like, we're perfectly fine with the gays.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Is that a word?
Bumming.
That was
anal sex in England.
Bumming is when you sleep on your friend's couch.
Yeah.
No, it's when
in exchange for anal
friend
sex
on his own couch.
God damn. No, I don't think we're doing any real criticism, you know.
No.
Yeah, the things that we like is really best.
I really like that you kept Happel around, even though he's like, obviously you should have vented. Like, any practical crew would have been like, vent this guy.
Yeah.
But they're like, no, we might need him later.
Practicality doesn't enter into it, though.
No.
Practicality isn't funny.
That is very true.
You heard it. I said it. I'll take that stand. I'll die on that hill. Being practical is not funny.
That's... nice subversion of expectations there, which is, of course, the essence of humor.
Yeah.
Practicality, not funny. Subverted expectations, very funny.
Basically wrote the equation right there.
Yep.
It's the only ideas I bring to writing.
That's
P subvert expectations. No. Nothing should be practical.
Yep. There you go. All right. That'd
be flying an entire planet's population across the galaxy.
This has been Jared's masterclass. Thank you for joining.
Yeah.
Alright, fuckers, now go home and write your own story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Besides that, the only thing I have to say is that I don't know if you want to include me saying this, but I like the, you know, I just like the way that you do development in your stories. You know, there's really nice pacing, you know. Objectives are clearly finished and accomplished, and then problems arise right when we need them to. I honestly do like the pacing. Everything makes sense, and there's not any points in the story where I'm like, where are we and why are we? You know.
So the problems
I like to keep my stories practical.
Yeah.
Oh man. No,
for the most part, characters with like pre-established motives are like set up in a way that like they end up like, oh yeah, that he would totally make that problem. Like Plum was foreshadowed, like to be basically like a dummy the whole time, and then he made those robots, and they're like, oh,
yep.
So
he served his purpose, and then he was just a loose cannon because that's fun. Like
wild card.
You can either, like, use a character and they serve their purpose and then you have to concoct another purpose for them. Or they can just fade into the background and become nothing.
Well, I think what I like what you've done with Plum...
fucking crazy.
I think what I like what you've done with Plum is that, like, as a listener or a reader, I know that when he shows up, I'm like, okay, well, that's not good. You know, whatever was happening, Plum's here now. So
yeah, whatever technology that they have, it's like, oh, don't let him touch it, please.
He's just He's just self-serving.
Yeah.
So, but he's also the only qualified, like,
but that is
software engineer.
Certainly enough for a character designed to just get plots moving.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, Frunga is also an engineer, and so is Glorda.
Yeah.
Glorda took on more of a leadership role, though, and Frunga took on more of a medical role. So it's like Plum has just stayed an engineer, kind of. The others tried to adapt to what the society needed, and
they let that one guy be the engineer. Oh, Plum should have been a doctor. They should have made Plum the doctor. Be like, you're going to be.
You really want him to be your doctor?
Well, I mean, how bad could he really fuck somebody up? I mean, to be honest,
because he's going to start obsessing over how you don't need tonsils, and then he's going to forcefully take your tonsils out
while you're sleeping.
Yeah,
look, you don't really need that appendix.
No,
give it to me.
Livers regenerate. I want half years now.
Yeah.
Oh God.
But no, that would require me thinking a lot more about the anatomy of these people. If you were the doctor, because it would
he'd make them spread extra arms.
I don't think the jokes would be as funny if it was just him using basic human anatomy to make jokes about operations. So I would have to consider what's going on with these people, which I could do.
Yeah.
But again, he's not the doctor, so I don't have to.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think this is just one of those notes that they should have taken. They should have assigned roles better. But
yes. This is not like you should.
I don't think that doctor is a better option for him. I really don't.
I guess what could they do to make him?
At least
he could be the.
At least with him being engineer, they have other people that can double check his work.
Yeah.
The chef.
They locked him out of manipulating the giant robot's personalities.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they locked him out of the personalities.
Oh wait, how much worse could the personalities get now? I mean, he already.
Well, the giant robots don't have a personality created by him. The maintenance bots do.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
But, anyways.
Yep.
Thanks for listening. This has been basically science fiction.
Sure has.
And some bullshit as well. We'll be back next week with a story from Todd about stuff and things.
Oh, God.
And then, comment, subscribe, or don't. It's your choice.
But do.
Merca.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.